Record. Let me record. Okay, thank you. Shut up! The second time recording this again. Actually gonna make me. I'm back at it again. Hello. Recording this thing for the second time because this thing cannot actually record. I'm going to sound like this for the rest of the video because I'm mad. Let's get started, shall we? Alright. This video is about the Rapture, if you do not know. Somehow. Because it's literally the title of the video thumbnail. Anyways, time to record. So, the Rapture, people are having these Rapture dreams, quote unquote, because they are the part of the strong delusion. A strong delusion inside of Scripture are them believing in the system rather than Yahuwah, the flesh, well, not flesh, Yahuwah, Elohim, Yahuwah, and relying on the system instead of Yahuwah. And they believe that they're going to be gathered up and go to heaven. That sounds too easy. Suspiciously too easy. And that is completely false, my friends. So I'm recording this SHIT again to show you proof 1,000 times that this rapture thing is not real at all. So what people like to use to explain the quote unquote rapture is real thing is by 1 Thessalonians verses 4:16 to 17, which states, "For Yahuwah himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the shofar of Elohim, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yah in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yah." So, okay, let's break down these scriptures. So the first part, Thessalonians 4:16, which we already read. Oh my goodness, voice crack. This sucks. Which states, "For Yahuwah himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with a shofar of Elohim, and the dead and the Mashiach shall be raised first." So, let's break this down. Yahuwah shall descend from heaven to the earth. If you do not know, Yahuwah is Yahusha. Yahuwah is Yahusha, and I will tell you how. Where are the scriptures at? Where's the scriptures at? Why? Anyways, there's some scriptures out there that state Yahuwah is Yahusha. Like as an example, 1 John, that states, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and Elohim was the Word." That sounds confusing in the first place, but the scripture is saying, in the beginning, all the way back in Genesis, was the Word. And the Word was with Elohim. That means it was with him. And Elohim was the Word. So this is Yahusha. The same was the beginning with Elohim. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of man, and the light shines in darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. Sound confusing, but I'll tell you what this means. So, while I find the next one. Where's the next one? So what this scripture was saying is that oh my goodness. Yahuwah was the Yahuwah had the word, well, and he is the word. That means Yahuwah. Okay, it gets confusing, but you can just search it out. Anyways, John. Here it is. Okay, so First Thessalonians, we're gonna go back. Yahuwah shall descend from heaven, which is Yahusha. Yahusha is Yahuwah, but instead of a lower status. That's why it states that in Hebrews that, and I quote, inside of Hebrews 2:9, but we see Yahusha, who was made a little lower than Elohim for the suffering of death. Okay, so a little bit lower, but yeah. I'm too lazy to actually get the other ones, but I got you, Shum. Be grateful. Thank you. Freaking stupid things I hate. Not this, I love doing this. It's just that my computer does not want to record. I hate it. Anyways, next is with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the shofar of Elohim. This is all the noise that would come from heaven. And basically, the shofar, which is shofar, obviously you already know it's a trumpet, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. So the ones that are dead spiritually towards Elohim, Yahuwah, shall be caught up first for judgment day. So they shall be caught up into the air first, to in the Ruach, to be judged and to die. Okay, and if you never read the wheat and the tares carefully, read the tares and the stuff carefully. Read the wheat and the tares carefully. Some good soda. Anyways. So basically they're going to be judged, and then after they're there, then he's going to gather. Okay, here. Then we which are alive and remain, that means prosper, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yah in the air. So clouds means covering in the Strong's Concordance. I'll just show you right now, actually. Where the heck is it? Here's cloud. Large and crab. I hate this freaking Google! And air means the Ruah. That sounds pretty obvious. What was it says in scripture? I hate Google, man. It freaking sucks. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue. So cut them together with them in the clouds in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahuwah. Okay, so what that scripture was saying is, this entire time, you do not know, for Yahuwah himself shall descend from heaven. So Yahusha shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with a shofar, and with the mighty shofar of Elohim, which is Yahuwah. And the dead shall rise first, to be judged. And then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, which is covering, with them that are covered, to meet Yahuwah in the Ruach HaKodesh. And so shall we ever be with Yahuwah. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. So now that was scripture, and now this is going to be historical. So who created the rapture theory? I have right here, and this is AI, but it says the rapture theory was modern formed by whoever John Nestle Darby is. I'm just actually gonna search him up real quick. John Nestle. Now, John Nestle Darby. Let me have the name. Thank you. He created the Rapture theory. He created their Rapture theory.
Well, last time we were together, we left off right here. I was mentioning to you that these is silly, and he'd gone off as he was contemplating which church should he be joining, that all of these churches were off base. They were all gone out of the way, and that he should avoid all.
Anyways, truth unedited time. Truth unedited. Testing Christianity. Flickering lights. 2017. Truth unedited. They have a freaking website? That's actually kind of cool, though. Truth unedited. Testing Christianity. Whoever YouTube is, do not freaking
preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Convince, rebuke, exhort with all longsuffering and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth and be turned aside to fables. That's 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 2 through 4. As I start this message, I am reminded of the truth of these verses, because when I have brought this topic up before, many have proven to be a confirmation of just how truthful this prophecy of these times are.
Okay, hold on.
People have itching ears, and they heap up for themselves teachers that will teach them what they want to hear, and they will often remove themselves from truths that are uncomfortable, but are necessary to deal with. For many people with their eyes opened, it's apparent that we are in the last days.
There it is.
We are
what
in the
are
end
these
times.
ads? No,
There are
get
many
out of here. Freaking stupid AI generated. Freaking hate AI things, but whatever.
Okay, so you should be coming from part 12 of the series.
Nope.
These videos are a part of a topical series and should be watched from the beginning in order if you're going to understand what is being presented.
No.
If you have not watched from part 1, please stop this video and start back from video 1.
No.
So, in the last part, part 12, we were introduced to the Greek philosophers who were the actual prophets to the Greeks.
Yes.
The Hebrews, they had Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Ezekiel, men like that. The Greeks, they had Socrates, philosophies, and hypotheses. Bars. That's from our New Yorkers. Anyways, the Greeks, they had these philosophers who were being used by Satan to create the mindset that would prepare the Roman world for the acceptance of the new religion Satan would create.
It's actually pretty hilarious.
From the beginning of this series, I've explained that Christianity is a religion of tares that Satan planted.
Yeah.
Messiah himself gave this prophecy. The tares were planted when Satan used these pagans and began to correlate the foundation that he laid with the prophets, like Socrates and Plato, and he began to correlate their philosophy in with the faith that the Hebrews presented. We've gone over much of this history extensively.
And that's why it seems so familiar.
Now the thing is that
Christianity feels so familiar to people, but isn't at the same time.
Missing link to understanding this, and it comes from a lack of understanding how the culture of the Greeks was spread. Many people do not understand Hellenization. And in order that we understand how these tares were spread, we must understand the history of how the culture of the Greeks made it into the Roman world. We also need to speak about the set-apart culture of Yasharel, specifically the Yahudim who were in Judea, who met the Messiah. People assume that because the culture of the Greeks was the accepted way of the majority, that the Hebrews were just supposed to accept it as well. But this comes from a false way of understanding the Hebrews and the word itself, because they were not a part of the world, and they were the only ones taught to be set apart. This is something that someone said to me in correspondence about the Yahudim accepting Greek culture. This is what he said. The Greek language was the lingua franca of that day. The overwhelming majority of people under the Roman Empire, including Jews, spoke Greek. This is not even much of a dispute. There is a reason there is no Hebrew or Aramaic Bible prior to the early 4th century. You seem to equate speaking Greek with being Greek. Your understanding is lacking and flawed. That is the equivalent to believing that Spanish-speaking people are Spanish or English-speaking people are English. And for the most part, what he's saying is correct. including with Jews speaking Greek, because there were. But while he says my understanding is flawed, there are obvious pieces to the puzzle that he does not see. And I get it, this is how people feel, something many of his soldiers found repulsive. In 320, rebel against.
I should do a video about Babylon, but what I'm trying to say, everybody, is that the Rapture doctrine, you should do some research for yourself, okay? I'm just trying to bring ideas to people's minds, okay? But you should do research yourself. I'm not trying to just say, I'm not just trying to blade out every answer. No, I'm trying to help you get back on task, okay? You! On screen! Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you all, but Yahuwah loves you more. So be it. And I'm on. Wait, not I'm on. So yeah, just so be it, because that's an Egyptian word. Okay, bye.